Greetings and welcome to Die Drug and Die presents Titan's Gift, episode 39, I think? Yes, 39. I'm your demon host, Marty, joined by... Actually, no, 38 is what we're at. Joined by 3/4 of the Seattle crew, Matt, Neil, and Luke. Levi is currently in the middle of his move between cities. He will join us at a future date.
We miss you, Levi.
Yep. We'll miss Ludo. I don't know about Levi. Fair enough. All right. Let's unmute. Let's unmute Neil so we can hear our friend Neil. There we go. How was everyone's week?
I was about to mime all of my messages here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Can you do that, please?
Can we have the interpretive dance of the campaign so far?
Get all the messages through YMCA.
Right. How's everyone doing this week?
Pretty good. Go ahead.
I got a question for you. How are you doing now? The subscribe didn't work on my queue there.
Oh, it didn't. Right. Are you subscribed to the channel?
I don't know, but yes.
The reason didn't work, guys.
Now?
And how about now? What? Sorry, guys. Sorry.
How many times do I have to click the button? I've got to do the same thing.
Yeah, I hit it. I don't know. It didn't say fun things. But I'm subscribed. Anyway, I'm good.
It didn't say anything in chat either. Weird.
Yeah, it did. I just did it too. I was trying to one-up him on my timing, but didn't work either.
You didn't get chat messages for subscribing?
Nope.
If only we knew somebody who worked at Twitch.
I'm not sure.
I think I know a guy.
What's going on there?
Taking a note to follow.
You aren't supposed to know I work for her.
Oh wait, it's your 5-month anniversary.
Hey, it's my 6-month sub anniversary. I'm assuming we're reading these messages as we get them. Hence why I.
Yes. There you go.
There we go. Oh yeah, it's really small on the plugin, but it's actually come back. So Henry Professor subscribed for 5 months. Currently on a 4-month streak.
Oh, I got a hot streak going, boys.
Nice. I like your little blue dragon badge there.
Look at
That's
that.
pretty cool. Yeah.
They only give that to a select few, Marty.
Cool beans. Cool beans.
Anyway, sorry to derail all that.
That's fine. It worked. Let me just cross out this note. And nothing. All right. Luke?
Good. I went to a wedding over the weekend. Some friends got married. It was a lot of fun. Drank a bunch of sparkling wine. Danced. It was a Jewish wedding. First time I went to one of those. And that horror dance they do with the chair is like a lot of fun. People get so into that. Nice. It was a really, weddings are fun, the dancing's fun. That was like a particularly poignant version of that, yeah. So yeah, that's me. That's
cool.
My prepared remarks.
Matt, what's going on with you, man?
Man, not much. I've just been busy solving short programming problems over and over again of different types, and thinking about how I would design random, well-known web services.
Sounds enthralling.
My great hope is that I can do this successfully for 6 hours in a row in the near future.
As somebody who travels a whole lot to take part in said process from the other side of the table, I know what you're talking about.
I've been on both sides of that table for sure, and more on the other side than this side. But yeah.
So you're having fun at work, is what you're saying.
Exactly what he's saying.
Hashtag first world problem.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I'm going to have another cookie.
Hashtag tech worker problem. Mackin has cookie. All right.
I'm in the same boat. I didn't even get to finish my lunch today.
Is that a donut? Is that your lunch?
It's a snack that I was given with my coffee by my loving wife, and I was just too busy to get to it.
That's awesome. So you're
Which
gonna
is funny because she gave this to me yesterday for the same reason, and I didn't get to it as well.
It's probably still really fresh then.
So you get to have it during game. What's going on with you, Neo?
Things are good, man. I actually had a full day of Sunday. Can you believe it?
Whoa, they gave you a day off?
My son gave me a day off because it's just sport all the time, right? But he had the misfortune of fracturing his tibia while playing football. The first 10 yards he did, somebody tackled him, somebody else fell awkwardly on him, so now he's bouncing around on one leg.
Yeah.
So for the next couple of weeks, I have Sundays. So I don't know what I'm going to do with all this time.
Oh
I
my
really
God.
don't.
I'm sure your wife will find some projects for you.
The honeydew.
I kid you not. I kid you not, Luke. It was 8 o'clock Saturday morning, and she was nudging me, going, "It's winter time. Grass is long. Mow the lawn." There I was outside mowing the lawn.
Yeah.
In the dark.
Welcome to Seattle, I suppose.
Yeah.
Or the Pacific Northwest. I mean, I don't exactly live in Seattle, but
Yeah, there's the dry times when the lawn doesn't grow, the wet times when it's raining so you can't mow the lawn,
Yeah.
and then there's a brief period of time on both ends where you can sleep in.
The
and for
in-between.
all other times, there's beer.
Yeah. What about you, Marty? How are you doing,
Just work and recovering from TwitchCon. I had sort of like the con plague last week, and I was hobbling around and kind of miserable, but I have recovered, and it's good to be back to the grind. Good to be back to a regular schedule, doing the game and stuff like that.
I had somebody else say that to me this week. That's so funny.
Back in the grind? Or back playing Dungeons and Dragons?
Back into a schedule.
Yeah. Well, welcome
Maybe
back.
that's the thing. Welcome back, Marty.
Yeah, well, it's the things that you enjoy doing. You make time for. When schedules are all havocy, you tend not to do the things that you plan.
Yeah.
Right.
Like for a week and a half, we didn't game because I was like running around at TwitchCon and doing work there. So yeah. Anyways, last game was episode 37. I changed the title to "By Its Cover" because I remember that you guys had judged a bunch of Baba Yaga's library books by their covers.
That is true.
The Jerks Emeritus explore Baba Yaga's library and borrow a couple of magical tomes. They also returned some very nicely.
It's a library.
It's a library. Où est la bibliothèque? Afterwards, they head to the Pearl Cantina to deliver the Recastan remains to Thousand Bones and collect their reward. The subtle thing here is that they got a pay slip that they have to go to the Citadel to cash in. As the lieutenant just doesn't have $1,000 on him and doesn't make a habit of carrying that much money. At the Pearl, Ludo has a uncomfortable encounter with a veteran swordsman.
Oh, yeah.
From the Pearl, the Jerks Emeritus travel to Bosterra town using the Key of Infinite Doors. Ludo and Manny have a run-in with old rivals of the Division Mining Coalition. The party visits the Fant commune, and Zephyro speaks with Master Dombros. He arranges a guide to the boneyard, where Zephyros' master's bone should be interred. The boneyard is a sacred place to the Fant, located in a place called the Valley of the Titans. Zephyros has instructions to bring his master's staff to the albino who lives there. And you learn that, just to double check, the staff that blew up in that combat was not your master's staff, correct?
No, it was not.
Okay, great. All right, so you presented the staff and asked a question about it to Dombros, and Dombros said, take it to the albino. He is a reclusive... could be a wizard or a priest or a shaman or a witch doctor of your people that tends to the boneyard. Pharisee explores the commune and finds a hidden watery temple with magical fonts. Ludo meets with Yadira, a Fant healer, and learns that a plague has hit Bosterra. Unfortunately, Ludo didn't really tell the party that was going on because they're the jerks. And it looked like Yadira had contracted this strange plague. And Ludo just basically backed out of there.
Yeah, I gotta run, man. It's been great. Yeah.
You returned to Bosterra town. Your guides are a group of Vark that are going to bring you to the valley. Normally, Fant would mount an expedition. Like from the commune, like many Fant would go, but Dombros seemed to give you, Zafiro, sort of an excuse that there are too many. The Fant here are spread thin at the moment with many different endeavors, and he didn't really quite explain. It was just sort of an odd dismissal.
Okay.
You also gave him the spell book, and he agreed to keep the spell book safe at the library in the commune if you wanted to leave it there. If you were worried about other people trying to capture it, you really got the sense that it was up to you. He didn't take the spellbook from you. You would have had to gone to the library there and deposit it yourself, so you've got a choice to retroactively make.
Well, I've got to give the spellbook to them regardless so that they can, because the agreement, there was some message, if I recall correctly, where I had to give them the spellbook so that they could copy the spells and then it would come back to me, right?
Yep.
Is this the person that I have to give the spellbook to?
Yeah, but Master Dombros may not be a wizard, and he didn't seem really excited about the spellbook. He appreciated that this was going to happen, and let you know that the spellbook would be safe in the library.
I would leave the spellbook in the library. I think a library is probably as safe a place as I could leave a book. Yep. And I came here with the intentions to give them the book so that they can do what they have to do. So I have to trust somebody.
Okay, so you make contact with some of the Fant that are tending to the library. They agree to look after your book, and if you bring up any like issues of ownership, they agree that it will take them some time to copy the spellbook.
Okay.
Give me a sense motive or a knowledge arcana.
Sure, let me just see. I have a suspicion that my knowledge arcana is going to be better than my sense motive. Sense motive, I have, oh yeah, +3. It's not great. Whereas knowledge arcana, I'm +15. $32.
Did we ever decide how powerful your master was?
I don't think we explicitly quantified it. I mean, we knew by the virtue of the fact that when he was very sick, that very powerful people came around and multiple people were searching his person and his locale. Okay. But I don't think we put a label on exactly how powerful he was.
All right. You know that the librarian has a look through the spellbook. He lets you know that it may take some time for them to completely transfer all the spells and copy them, because you need to be a caster capable of casting them. And he said that it looks like your master on his final pages in his spellbook mastered 7th circle spells. They agree that they will keep it in a safe space and that you will have access to it whenever you want.
That's big time.
It's not every day. Your knowledge arcana, you don't think that at this particular commune, at this particular time, there is a 13th level wizard. There could be more powerful individuals that don't live at the commune that they may have to get to help transfer the spells. Mm-hmm. Or perhaps you, one day, could help copy the spells for them.
Right. In the meantime,
or just copy them into the spell book, copy them into your own spell book, and then just like let them have the book. It becomes useless after that.
Right. Right.
Okay, so make a note that your master had that before he died, he unlocked 7th circle spells, and the person who takes the book at the library says the last spell he thinks is a limited wish spell.
Ooh, nice. That's pretty neat. Wish I knew that spell.
The librarian's name is Zek.
That elephant in the Jungle Book? Isn't there an elephant in there?
That is a good question.
Okay, so that happened, and then you guys went back to Bosterra Town, and then something weird happened with the Key of Infinite Doors. You guys were using a tool shed that Manny and Ludo were familiar with. Pixel had tried to follow Manny and Ludo, as well as the rest of you, into the blue portal that led back to Baba Yaga's hut. But the doorway and the portal closed very quickly. Like, almost too quickly. Like, it was shut.
Mm-hmm.
You waited around for an hour, and Ludo and Manny didn't return. Ludo was the one that had the Key of Infinite Doors.
Yes, he was. Now it's gone.
The original reason why Ludo wanted to go back was to fetch the apparatus of Qualish, and you were using the door in the shed because it would be big enough for him to squeeze the apparatus back through.
But in theory, if he ever gets it back together and he's alright, we have the door that we made so that he could come directly to us.
Sephiros is still, much to the amusement of those that see him and don't know him, is carrying a door on his back, yep.
And having realized they're not coming back, I think we had to go and purchase some more supplies since we're going to rely on Manny to create.
Yeah, I think we did in fact do that.
Yep.
What was the price?
What were we going to rely on Manny for?
He had like a create food spell as a cleric or something like that. How much? What was the price per ration?
I updated your character sheet with more food.
It's $1.
So it should be enough to sustain us.
It's $1.50 per day of food per medium-sized creature.
And a Zoller is a gold?
Yeah.
So, okay.
Which is 3 times the cost of normal D&D food. If everything was perfectly fine and farmers were in the field, and basically food is 3 times as expensive. Which may not mean so much to the Jerks Emeritus at this level with their level of wealth. It certainly meant a lot to them when they were first level and had nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
How much Zollers do we have?
It's a good question. Don't know.
Oh, I've got 2,440.
Yeah, you're rich.
A ring of
68, man.
You're not so rich.
Well, a ring of sustenance costs 2,500 gold pieces.
I don't know if this place will have it, though.
This place might not have it, but it might be saving up for one.
That's not a
It might be something worth making, yeah.
It's probably worth making, I agree.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so you've gathered your additional food. You were contemplating getting some mounts. I think at this point in time, it was when Henry decided that he was going to have a wheelbarrow.
Mm-hmm. With a pillow and a parasol in it.
I think I created a wheelbarrow on the different machine, so let me just find a wooden wheelbarrow.
And we'll attempt to power it using a floating disc.
Oh, that's right.
I was like, where are you going with this?
It's the most awkward thing ever.
I'm old, man. I can't be walking around in the deserts for a week.
Okay. The floating disc follows you, right?
Yes.
So it takes somebody to start this perpetual motion machine. But once you get it going, it seems to work.
How do you steer it?
Suppose just lean a bit to one side. Zephyros, could you perhaps give me a push to get this thing going?
Steering is a problem. You can go straight pretty easy. You can kind of scooch from one side of the wheelbarrow to the other, but it is not.
If you scoot to the back of the wheelbarrow, presumably it will stop, and you can hop off, reposition the wheelbarrow, and hop back in, shift forward.
Yes.
Something like that.
I think that will be how I travel.
This is extremely irregular and inefficient.
You could have an unseen servant stand on the floating disc and lift the wheelbarrow's handles and do the steering.
Oh, that is Pharisee, that's a capital idea. I will do just that and summon an unseen servant to go along with my floating disc and attempt to ride this thing around.
What is the unseen servant doing?
He will stand on the floating disc.
Yep.
And he will hold the wheelbarrow arms, and I will command him to turn.
You can sort of steer a little bit with that. You can sort of push it forward or pull it back to change the distance to the disc, which presumably moves the disc.
Okay, so there's your wheelbarrow.
Do you have 3 ranks in fly?
That's a good question. I think I have at least one. I have 0 ranks in fly.
Ezri says, is he always this ridiculous?
Yes.
Ridiculous.
Well, I mean, it's a spectrum.
Oh, thank you, Pharisee.
I'm going to pretend I know what that is.
I think ridiculous is a colorful word to describe it.
Oh, we're not leaving without Ludo and Manny, are we?
Complains Makronon.
I mean, all he had to do was invest 3 levels of fly, and he could fly atop his magic disc.
They'll come back. We have a door.
I believe magic discs that are rideable require tricks of a certain kind. Floating disc tricks, I've heard of such a thing. Some attain that feat, I believe.
Yes, but we would think that a professor could have the foresight to get the feat if he wants to ride the disc.
Yeah, well.
Not hack together a very awkward-looking wheelbarrow that is bound to hit every obstacle in our way.
Alright, so I guess I need a token for the floating disc as well.
But
This is complicated, Luke.
Sorry.
But if you're always going to go downhill, it might as well be that you're ahead of
You
us.
can't see that. You just need a token for the wheelbarrow.
Save as. How big is the floating disc?
3 feet in
3
diameter.
feet diameter.
Okay, so that's a medium thing. Okay, there's your floating disc riding behind the wheelbarrow with the unseen servant on the floating disc and the professor. Yeah. Okay.
So Zephyros walks closer to the floating disc.
Yep.
Is he on the wheelbarrow yet?
Yeah, Henry has got onto the wheelbarrow and is testing this thing out.
So as Henry is testing it, Zephyros answers the call and gets the perpetual motion going.
Yep.
And then turns around and points in the other direction and says, "Okay, let's go, guys."
Wait a moment! Come talking about?
This forces the professor to get out of the wheelbarrow, reposition the wheelbarrow, issue new commands to the unseen servant.
What moment?
And then need someone to get him started.
Someone give me a push.
Or you could run alongside the wheelbarrow and hop in.
I think that will do.
It's like a bobsled. It's a professor's
yeah, an acrobatics check DC, I don't know, 8 to hop into a moving wheelbarrow.
8! Just barely.
Lying on his back and has to kind of shift around. This is the indignity of it all.
It's working!
The Vark are commenting in Vark about how they really like the old man's junk.
I do have some nice junk.
You do have some nice junk now, and they seem to be quite impressed if your party members are not. Laden with food and supplies, and on foot, you begin to set out, allowing the Vark of, I think they had a name. These are Vark of the 5 tribes. The circle on their foreheads and the five little stubs coming out of the circle mark them as perhaps long ago 5 tribes had come and made a deal. You'd have to give me knowledge local, Bosterra, or something similar to know anything more about that. But they have giant stag beetles that are laden with packs.
Yeah, they're bark.
And there are 8 of them that are slowly leading the group of you out of Bosterra town. The next few hours are not too bad in your wheelbarrow, as there are trails that lead out to various mining spots and prospector spots, like a little trading post outside of town. But soon you find yourselves in the prickly scrub, and I'm going to move your group into the prickly scrub.
So just as a note, while you're doing that,
yep.
Zephyros can learn another language, so he's paying close attention to the languages around him, trying to figure out exactly which language he wants to learn.
Cool. Do you have any in mind?
No, I don't. I don't yet.
The Vark speak Vark.
Zephyros already fluent in Vark.
Nice. So you know what they're saying.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Nice.
They spend the first hour talking about how they're wondering if the old man, how old humans get before they die, because they're really impressed with the old man's junk.
Just gonna wait it out. I like it.
Yep. It's not in a, hey, we're going to kill him sort of way. It's more out of a mild curiosity and something to think about while they are traveling.
So Zephyros, because he's listening to them,
yep.
he's chuckling along and nodding his head and so on. And every once in a while, when they make a statement like "How long is he going to live?" Zephyros sort of mutters in Vark a little bit along the lines of, "It depends where we push the wheelbarrow."
Well, we shouldn't push it over a ravine. It would be hard to get. Yes, but our stag beetles do fly, so we could get at junk down ravines.
Yes, but don't hold on to the junk when he's going over the ravine. But this is all in jest, so everybody knows. Zephyros knows he's joking. They know he's joking.
But we will have to be careful. If he is dead, then he might belong to the cadaverous Vark. Yes, we do not want to. We do not want to insult those.
There you go. Useful
Maybe
information.
we can get Mokrunum to keep him for them.
We don't want to insult that tribe. Remember what happened last time? Yes, many Vark died. Many Vark got Varked.
They seem to all bob their head like they're briefly sad.
Totally oblivious to this, I will be beginning to experiment with the cantrip Ray of Frost to try and either find a way to cool my water while I ride back here, or just create air conditioning in front of me.
Yeah, cantrips can be cast all day long, so it is quite... to give you an idea of what the prickly scrub looks like, it's endless miles of this, with mountains in the distance as you leave Bosterra behind, and lots of cacti lots of uneven ground. Some of the cactuses loom even over Zephyros's head. Others are almost like tiny balls that didn't have like little golf ball size things that are full of bristles that end up getting stuck along your feet and shoes. Dust is everywhere. This is a thing that is constant. The sands that are deep out there, well beyond the prickly scrub, but well beyond the Great Parch, do blow in, sand. I hate sand. It's coarse.
What's worse than his acting on that is somebody wrote those lines.
Yeah.
Right.
Somebody wrote that whole movie.
Yeah, holy cow. I get it, he's a villain. Let's not...
I have no idea what you guys are talking about. No. It's like I didn't even buy a ticket on the way in.
Space Battles, the successful Disney franchise by George Lucas.
I missed that. I missed the reference. Okay.
Where he's complaining about the sand on Tatooine.
Yeah.
Right.
Gets
The
everywhere.
best actor everywhere. Anywhere.
Best actor everywhere. It was actually his official title.
Funny. All right. So, yeah, you guys are traveling through the prickly scrub. You don't know how many days it's going to take, although you got the estimate that it was about 10 days on foot at the rate that you guys are traveling.
Mm-hmm.
You come across all sorts of a surprising amount of life in the prickly scrub, as there's enough water here for even cacti to grow. There are little snakes and insects and weird spiders. It appears that Pharisee is on the hunt for particular cacti as she's wandering through this area. You've got an eye out for.
And I'm keeping an eye out for Fae, just to kind of keep my Fae contacts strong.
Okay.
Not likely to be very many, but occasionally there has to be one.
Okay. You guys spend a full day walking through this stuff. Professor, your wheelbarrow was good on roads. It's not really good on this.
Mm-hmm.
As the wheelbarrow constantly kind of gets dislodged from the from the constant force, or gets pushed down into a little gully. The caravan is moving really slow, so it's pretty easy to catch up. You are getting better at maneuvering, but more than a few times you've fallen behind the party.
How is my Ray of Frost air conditioning working, though?
Well, it lasts for maybe 12 seconds after you cast your Ray of Frost on something. You found the best thing to do is cast it on something metal and then put that metal thing close to your body.
Nice. So things are going pretty well in the cart, is what you're saying. Well, that was a leisurely day of travel.
It is not so hot that you guys are like heat stroking or anything like that. However, let's see. I think Tech has survival. Who has survival in the group?
I have an answer to that. Survival. Yeah, Tech is really good at that. Manny was really good at it.
Got it.
Nobody else is good at that.
I've got 1 rank in it, putting me at +2.
Yeah.
Okay, so you notice that Tech did take part of a burlap sack and sort of wrap it around his neck, and he also tied 2 loops of sack around his antennae, almost like he's warding himself from the sun and perhaps trying to trap moisture within.
Tech, what are you doing there?
Protect yourself from the elements, or you will die, old man.
Oh, well, yes, that's why I installed this air conditioning unit on my palanquin. It's like pointing to the cold metal.
Your strange chariot is inefficient.
Tech is correct.
I'm sorry I couldn't hear you over the sound of me relaxing all day today.
You are the noisiest relaxer I know, that is true.
Your track will lead enemies straight to our camp.
Yes, but they won't know what to expect when they get here.
I'm sure they're going to expect a spellcaster with all the spells that you're casting to keep that bottle cold.
This track is clearly a wheel.
And what would be dragging a wheel through the desert?
A wheelbarrow.
Yes, well, I suppose that's the case, but...
And why would you carry a wheelbarrow through the desert?
Oh, I got
it's
this one.
probably filled with loot, isn't it?
Yes, miners struck gold or whatever it is they mine out here.
Yes.
Never said they mine out here, don't they?
They're going to be disappointed that it's only filled with old man.
Yes.
They will be surprised at what they find, won't they? Delightful.
Well, it's either that or you could carry me. I'm getting quite up in the years.
Yes, I suppose that's one of the other options. No, I like your plan. Let's continue.
The orange and harsh globe in the sky begins to set. It does kick up. It seems to coincide with a strange kick up of dust. The bark end up finding a small valley that looks like exactly this this terrain at this current moment in time to make camp on your first night out.
And while that discussion was going on, Zephyros casts Endure Elements on himself.
Nice. Mockernam has turned himself into a very sturdy leather sack and has buried himself amongst your belongings.
So there looks like there's a pretty good amount of rocks. Maybe not a lot of sand dunes in this area, but it might not be out of place for a pile of sand or a large rock somewhere around here.
I'm not sure what you're getting at.
I think what I'm going to do is cast an illusion for the night and fill the area with something that would look natural, like a big rock or something, to cover our campsite, and then give it to the hand to focus on all night while we sleep as a camouflage of our campsite.
Okay, what spell are you casting?
I think I'm gonna put a little effort into this one and do not just a silent image. Let me just double check minor image.
I think these have a maximum duration, even though it's concentration.
Maybe. If there is...
Duration, concentration plus 2 rounds. Oh my goodness. It's because undead don't get tired that it could concentrate on the illusion all night.
Do they get annoyed, though?
Wait, the spell functions like silent image. Give me a second. Concentration.
Okay. Yes. An undead creature has no con score, so it doesn't get
Fatigued, which means it could technically pull off this feat.
It seems other than an increased DC, there's not much benefit of doing anything other than a silent one, since the rock's not really gonna smell or have heat.
Okay, what's the rock doing?
Dancing?
Is that a trick question?
Oh my goodness. What a stupid computer.
Did it
is
die?
It's attempting to,
Sorry.
I told it not to do this, and apparently later means an hour later.
Oh, dark.
Alright, so we will do Theater of the Mind until that computer comes back online.
Is it doing its thing?
It's doing its thing. Yep.
Okay. I think I'm going to do a silent image. I will put one mage's point into it to increase the DC. And the rock is rocking out.
So you're just trying to encircle your camp with it.
Yes, so that as long as everybody stays within it, it looks like there's just a natural feature of the terrain here to anyone coming across it would see our tracks disappear into.
Okay. Seeing this, it looks like a campfire might be in order, as it does seem to surprisingly cool down, at least relative to the really warm temperatures during the day. Who's making the campfire?
I think probably...
I think Tech's going to make a campfire. Yeah.
Okay.
I think the wizards might be able to assist. I think I can with Spark. I'll help him out if he looks like he needs it.
Tech, you can see, comes back and he's crunching on something. Like he's eating something. It looks like it was green that he was eating.
Did you find a little creature? Did you find meat?
It is
Bug meat.
no.
Lizard meat?
Plant meat.
Ooh.
He whatever is still kind of like along the edges of his mandibles and his mouth seems to be green and juicy.
Did you bring any to share with the class?
No.
Pity.
All right.
But he does seem to have found some small dry grasses and like an old crusted out cactus, which he then makes a fire out of.
Okay. Yeah, we can make a sort of small, slow burning fire.
Okay. There's a bit of wind, which brings in a little bit of cold air. Of course, the sand and grit gets everywhere. Your crawling claw is intelligent, so it can maintain focus on this illusion. It just sort of sits on a rock beside the fire and slowly rocks back and forth and maintains the illusion for you. What is the intelligence of your crawling hand?
Oh. The crawling hand has an int base of 8. Yes, 8. -1.
Okay.
For
So,
future nights, we may want to consider a rope trick. I do have the invisible rope.
I have rope trick, but I can only cast it for 6 hours.
Ah, okay.
I mean, I can cast it immediately for you guys if you want to get out of the weather, but it's only going to be for 6 hours.
Oh, no particular weather at the moment. I think it's fine.
It is good to layer our defenses while we're out here. I think the rock is but
did you encircle the Vark in the rock?
yeah, probably, yeah.
Yep.
It is but a layer to the defenses. We should still post guards, take all the normal precautions.
Of course.
If anyone has any other tricks up the sleeve.
It's around midnight, or is the world with a 26-hour clock?
I think it is.
It's in the bewitching hour.
There you go.
Nice.
Between 12 and 13. I think it is the 26-hour clock. I think we always forget that. When you hear some... At first you thought it might have been coyotes, but you guys already had the conversation. That's just a bunch of coyotes fighting over something. Several hours before. This is a bit more of a high-pitched screech. And it's close by. And the high-pitched screech is joined by another high-pitched screech of a slightly lower tone, and then a third one. And now there's rustling in the bushes heading your way.
Let's cast some spells.
I will cast invisibility silently on myself.
Given that everyone was asleep or on launch and that sort of thing, give me a D3 + 1, and that's how many rounds of prep you have before whatever is screeching reaches your illusory barrier. Also, I need an int check from your familiar as you're forcing it to do a mental task for long periods of time.
Modron is Modron's redoing.
Yep, we need.
Grab a.
Oh, we gotta do this.
You're gonna have to get a die.
Oh yeah! Oh man, little cow. There is no D3. We have to use a D6, right?
All right, right there, baby.
3.
Okay, Modron back. Bottom back. 3. Okay, you've had 3 rounds of prep.
3 + 1.
3 + 1.
4 rounds of prep.
There we go.
Hell yeah!
Keep in mind that this is your rest period, and any spells you cast right now without restarting your rest count against your spells for the rest of the day.
For the day we just finished, or the day we're about to start?
The day we're about to start.
Okay, so everything is reset and could reset again if we.
Yeah, if you cast an arcane spell, you would have to
Yeah.
redo your 8 hours of rest
Yeah.
in order to gain spells.
Makes sense. You said you needed a concentration check from the hand. Is that
What I want is just an int check.
an int check? Okay, so 1d20 minus 1.
No, concentration is probably the better thing to do. Yes, I want a concentration check from the hand.
Whoa! I haven't done one of these in quite some time.
So it should be caster level, which is yours,
6
plus int.
minus 1. 1d20 plus 5.
Yeah.
12 on the die plus 5. 17.
Okay, he is able to, or the hand is able to keep the spell going up until this point. So the hand is still.
Cool. Hand.
And I did.
Lending a hand.
You guys could load up the initiative sheet while I'm.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Apparently it didn't save me transferring all your tokens to that map, so I go do it again.
Oh, did the PC reboot?
Yep.
Is it back up?
Yep.
Ah, just as I got my piece of paper. Start taking notes of things.
Nice, dude.
I'm old school like that.
I like
Yeah, I can use a pen.
I can roll for Ezri. Per initiative.
Yep.
Initiative sheet, right?
Ooh, nat 20 for the professor. I'm gonna use some channel points to highlight my message.
Can you add Vark at the bottom? Just give them a +2 to their
Yeah.
roll.
Look at that. Look at that highlighted message there, guys. You guys
Actually,
jealous?
Vark
That
are
cost me
friends. Vark are friends.
570 points.
Yeah. Here's a spot. Alright,
Like our friends.
bringing it in. 1d20 for the Vark. 6. Yeah, fine. Alright. They're on line 26 down there.
Okay. Let me get a campfire. At this point that it's growing pretty low.
And we've got 3 rounds of spells we can throw.
I rolled a
right?
4 for the campfire.
4 rounds.
4.
Campfire embers, look at that. Alright, then surrounding you, you have this illusion that is basically protecting this part of the camp. We'll just draw a big barrier.
Can we see these creatures yet?
No, you can hear their screeching off in the distance. They're kind of coming down from this cactus-filled hill towards your campfire. You don't know what they are. They sound pretty angry.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have your 3 rounds of spells or activities cast? Feel free to move your tokens around.
I think it's 4, right?
What map are we
Yeah, it's
on?
4.
So there's 1.
Prickly Scrub, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. There's 1 round.
Erase Manny and Ludo for now.
I'm casting Entangle out in front.
I'm doing invisibility and invisible familiar on myself for the first round.
Okay. Why don't we go through in order of initiative, and you can tell me what your three
that sounds
what your three actions are. Just keep this same. Call up what their initiatives are. Okay, so out in the hills somewhere, you're casting in order of initiative. That's right. Initiative +8. Wow.
Work.
And -1. Let's get a couple of D20s. 4 and 10.
Oh, Vark.
Yeah, the Vark look really nervous. Professor, what were the
First round,
preps?
I'll dual spellcast
Invisible Familiar.
and invisibility silently.
Okay. Second round?
Oh, we're doing all.
Yeah, just do all.
Oh shit. Oh god. Oh fuck. Wasn't ready for that. I'll do mage armor and reduced person. I'll do fly. That puts me at 3 rounds. For my last round, I would have seen. Shit. For my last round, can I guess I'll do see invisibility and mirror image.
Okay, so the professor just rolls out of his bedroll, and beside his mighty wheelbarrow just begins to bathe himself in arcane magic. Of course, you can't see what he's casting because he's invisible. Ezri is going to hide behind that big cactus, taking out a weapon.
Could I have flown straight up with one of my move actions?
Yep. Ascent is half, so you're 30 feet up.
Okay. Do I see these creatures yet?
Is the crawling hand with you or not?
Yeah, it's gonna stay close to me.
I'll give you a perception check at the beginning. You get to go first, so I'll let you do that at the beginning of the turn. Yes, you do see something big heading this way. Cool. Or maybe something disturbing the cacti.
Mm-hmm.
Ezri takes out a weapon and hides. Machinam Gobbler is just staying in backpack form on Zephyros. Tech, what is Tech doing?
Tech is gonna set up. Can he set up a trap?
I think he can lay snares.
Yeah, let's lay a snare a little out ahead, and then kind of hunker down and wait near kind of the border.
It's a full round action that provokes an AOO, and you can lay a snare in I believe, a 5-foot area.
Yeah, so he'll try and get a sense of what the path is that they're coming on.
Okay,
And he'll set up a snare.
He moves out to the edge of the grasping grass, and we'll set up a snare. Let's say here.
Yeah, that seems fine.
Okay, he bends down and is doing something with his 4 arms. I think a trap maker with 4 arms is probably got advantage over one with 2. He can pull the thing back and put the thing in. All the things. Zephyros, what are you doing? He moved. He full round action. He still has a full 2 rounds of doing stuff.
I think he'll just say a prayer to his god and get his blades ready.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got 4 rounds to move, right?
Yep.
4 rounds to play. So first, Zephyros casts Mage Armor, then he casts Shield, and he casts Mirror Image. And Mirror Image is 1d4 plus 2, which was the max roll, so he's got 6 images.
Nice.
Sorry, 4 images. 4 images. No? 6, yeah, 6 images, sorry. I read the wrong 1d4 plus 2 in the chat channel there for
Okay, great.
So he's got 6 images. And on his 4th turn, he doesn't like being clustered like this. So he's going to move away so that he's not within the cluster. So he's going to do a full move action to the side.
Okay, this would leave the protective area of the illusion. Which
I would say about, well, you can go there about and still be within the illusion.
Okay.
Right?
Yep. You're kind of right at the edge of where there are rocks blocking the way.
How far can I move in one move? It is 60, right?
Are you flying?
No, shucks. No, I'm not. It's 30. Okay.
30. Yeah.
Yeah, so he'll do 30 all the way there to the
Okay. Do you have your weapon out?
He does, yeah. He
So
does.
you've got your big war scythe out.
Yeah, he's got his 4th side.
All right. The angry things you can hear, they're hissing and moving, and you can hear like definitely things walking and moving amongst the cacti. Pharisee, you're last.
Pharisee is going to cast an Entangle out sort of at the edge and tucking into the border here. She's going to
So sort of
cast...
spreading out from the edge of the illusion or spreading out from the edge of that big cactus? You guys are all on the south side of the big cactus and you
Yeah. Spreading that way from the big cactus, essentially.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Given that I haven't put the enemies on the ground, give me... They are coming from that direction. Give me 5 D2s.
All right.
You roll 2, you got stuff in your web of...
My web. 5d2, baby.
The last
two
one
of
is
them.
important.
Oh, and that's the one that's not a 2.
Okay. I just need to check their powers. Nope. Their the high-pitched hissing noises and almost like whining noises. There is a hint of anger, but also sadness in their wails. It's almost like there's crying.
Ah.
What's the reflex save of your...
The reflex save on that is... Let's see, that is a first level spell. 19.
Okay. There are anger and sadness. How's it going, Kenny? 10 and 11. Sounds like 2 things are caught out there.
All right. Oh, wow. Yeah, they did not do well.
Nope.
Um,
I'm
let's see.
going to give them green auras.
And then I am going to cast light on the fire.
Okay, just on
Fire log?
on a
Yeah.
rock or a log in the fire.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's make it actual light.
Okay. There's a beacon of light in the desert night.
I'm going to cast resistance on myself because I no longer have a resistance item because I replaced it with a cackling hag's blouse. And then I'm going to move back behind the line of Vark.
Okay. The Bark are all getting up out of their sleeping bags and underneath their lean-tos, and
Pixel is going to hide next to Ezri.
they spend their time not preparing for combat, but preparing the giant stags for travel.
Run away.
They're grabbing stuff and panicking and putting things onto the. There's a mad scramble as they're putting things onto the giant stags.
What are you afraid of?
They might Varkin take our stuff.
They won't be getting my palanquin, I'll tell you that.
Why don't we take their stuff?
It sounds like the wailing cacti. They are not good. They do not have good stuff.
Oh. Well, how unfortunate.
They sound angry.
They do. You should listen to us, though, for a moment.
Oh?
We will sound angry, too. A good anger.
We will help gather the stuff of those who survive.
Professor, as you've flown up in the air, you're like, what is making that noise? You can see a bunch of the cacti are bending, like all over the place. Like the entire field came alive because of the 40-foot radius entangle spell that